I'm getting together with a number of business leaders to get their take on some of the big lessons learned in 2025 and the things they're putting into place as we step into 2026. My guest today is someone who I've learned a whole bunch from over the years we've known each other, and I'm excited for you to learn from him as well. His name's Matthew Cohn. Let's hear what he has to say.
I am the Customer Experience and Marketing Practice Director with the UWEBC out of Madison, Wisconsin. Lesson that I learned. This one's a tough one because a lot of what I get to learn through the actions of my members, my community. I don't necessarily have to learn it through my own trial and error, which is a good thing, but also a challenging thing to have to sit by and watch. But I think one of the things that I've seen over the course of this last year is a lot of varied attempts to implement AI with an effort to really make customer experience less effortful on the part of the organization. And there are definitely some knock-on implications and positive impacts for the customer as well, but a lot of it's with the endeavor of making it easier on the organization. And I think too often I've seen these implementations be focused on what the technology can do versus what their end goal is for that enhancement, for that process, for that experience. And I think really understanding before you jump into those types of technologies, like really thinking about like what am I trying to achieve by adding this? Is it just to say that I'm using it and have these three processes that have been going relatively well off my plate, or am I really taking my experience to the next level? There's some things like after call notes, things like that are really low-hanging fruit that can be really valuable on both sides. But then there's other things like, I'll be frank, like IVAs. It saves some organizational hassle, but it doesn't necessarily save the customer as much hassle. Does your customer actually want to interact with an IVA? Are you going to actually deflect a number of those calls because they're comfortable taking care of their issue with this tool, or are you just going to get them frustrated or get them crying for a human anyways? So those are the things that I've definitely seen over the course of this past year. It's not for lack of great intent, but at the same time, I think we need to slow down, and I know that there's this drive to not be left behind. But I think it's just like anything else with CX, is we have to understand how it ties into our mission and our goal and how it connects to our values and the experience we're trying to provide. At the UWEBC, we're doing a bunch of different things in terms of trying to make more cross-collaborative communities within our space. So whereas I'm currently the Customer Experience and Marketing Practice Director, I used to just focus on customer service. We're really trying to create some better interplay between the different communities and kind of make sure that people understand, like, you don't have to be part of just one community. There's so much of what we do that has to interact and interplay with one another. And that ties into one of the things I hope that we'll see more of in 2026, is this idea that, especially from a CX standpoint, I think we fall into this trap of feeling left out because we're seen as different from the rest of the organization who looks at certain things. But we need the organization just as much as the organization needs us. So we can't kind of be on our high horse and say, oh, well, if it doesn't impact if it's not all about the people, then it doesn't matter. But without the business, the people don't have a job either. So we have to understand that we have to be working towards the same goals. We have to be able to translate both ways the work that needs to be done to create an experience that supports the product, that supports the organization. These things are so inextricably intertwined that I think we try and go it our own way or try and pull everybody over to our side, but really, like, we should be running parallel to each other and hopefully really closely so that we are working towards the same goals and pushing each other along as we start to slow down on either side. And really working towards some of those same outcomes, not something like a net promoter score, which we won't dig too deep into, but like not a temperature check, but like, what's the actual outcome? What does it mean for our customer? What does it mean for our organization? What's the end result of these things?